The Morgan Report with David Morgan.
David Morgan of themorganreport.com for the week ending 20 May 2022. I thought it was interesting that this came from the Nasdaq, as you can see, and the whole article is based on their personal finance column, How to Buy Silver. Interesting. I'm going to read it to you, but of course it talks about several ways to invest, silver stocks, funds, exchange-traded notes, ETFs, silver futures, names a few of them, of course, and then talks about silver bullion, bars, coins, silver eagles, maple leaves, British coins, the silver libertads, Chinese pandas, and on it goes. Should you buy silver? Talks about it is considered low-risk, safe haven investment. That's an investment that tends to keep its value even during times of market instability. However, gold is deemed more stable investment of the two, as silver is used for industrial purposes. I think it's a pretty accurate statement. Pros and cons. Silver and other precious metals is part of your portfolio. And of course, here is where I have, an issue, not with what they wrote here. In fact, what they say is actually pretty interesting. There's no credit risk to owning silver. And some dealers recommend you keep 5 to 20% of your portfolio in metals, as Jeffrey Christian pointed out a few years back at the Silver Summit, I think it was in San Francisco, that he did a study from 1968 to present day, and the actual percentage was 25%, which is above the 20% in this article. Nonetheless, this message has not gotten to not only to the Wall Street folks, but to the financial planners, the CFPs. Certified financial planners do not know this. And that's very, very, very unfortunate, because any CFP that is managing money for an individual, corporation, whatever, family trust, you name it, they're really a fiduciary. And if they are not aware of having protection in the portfolio in the form of physical silver or gold, they're doing a disservice to their client. And very few, if any, know it. Some do, but they can't act on it. Oh, how to buy silver, frequently asked questions. So I won't go through the whole thing. I just thought it was very interesting. And that was silver at this current low at the Nasdaq, of all things, would come out and talk about how to buy silver. And I have to add on to that, because what's so interesting about this Nasdaq article, not only is why would they talk about silver, but they are officially Nasdaq right there. That is about the 20% point, which 20% is, as you all know, an official bear market. Does that mean it's going lower? Well, probably is. If you look at it, looks like there's no support here. I mean, there's not much support until you get to this level. But time will tell. I'm bearish to stocks, as anyone knows. So I'm on my Twitter feed this time, and just a few of the posts. This is a retweet, I guess they call it. Wall Street Silver, very funny, from Saturday Night Live, 2.5 minutes, talking about the Nasdaq crash for all those years ago, back in 2003, and so much honesty in this. It's probably worth your 2.5 minutes if you want to have some fun or a good laugh about what really goes on in the financial world. This is something from Comstock Silver, John Perez. And this is just crazy. The full story is down here in the next tweet. This one I found interesting. Who is Satoshi Nakamoto? It's about a 2-minute read. Talks about Satoshi Nakamoto must be a woman. And they make kind of a tongue-in-cheek argument for that. Again, that's the chart I just showed, down 20%. Here's one I'm going to spend a little bit of time on. This is from Armstrong Economics. And it's Marty looking at not always the economic confidence model, but the question about cryptos. And here's what I found interesting, is what he mentioned here. So, question, you mentioned cryptocurrencies have been orchestrated to get people accustomed to cryptocurrencies for the end goal of the Great Reset. All digital currencies, so they can be taxed. Absolutely, every transaction. All popular blockchains are transparent and provide no privacy, but there are some blockchains that do provide privacy and are uncensorable. Do you think crypto could ultimately live up to its name? Here's what I find interesting, his answer. The sales pitch behind cryptocurrency is flawed. One, they depend entirely upon the government. With the stroke of a pen, they can be seized. Two, they also depend upon the power grid. Three, they also become dependent upon others accepting them. But note, the last 12 years from 2020 to 2032 will be dominated by rising authoritarian level of government. That means you better not trust that they'll simply stand by and allow some alternative currency to defeat them. That's essentially what I said in my article. I think it was 2014. It was years and years ago. My 2 bits about Bitcoin where I made that same point. You really think that money powers are going to lose their monopoly? Well, think again. And lastly, the last 2 sentences in this paragraph, it's not going to happen. Anyone who disagrees has an unprecedented confidence in politicians. I'm amazed when people believe that governments really care about them. So he goes on to talk about it. And then, of course, interesting, and most people know that Marty's very specific about gold and how valuable it is and isn't. My opinion, he's changed his views somewhat from the time he spent, let's say, rent-free. But regardless, he does point out a lot of things that most gold bugs don't. Like one, that, it's the only asset that isn't someone else's liability. Well, and then only financial or monetary asset. You can make that argument. Silver would fit as well. Copper could. But really, in a crunch game, any asset, so it could be a car, a truck, it could be plywood, 2x4s, concrete, cement bags, building blocks. Any physical, tangible asset has value. And in a collapse, it still has value. So someone might need, to finish off their foundation on their house, and they may much rather have, bags of concrete to finish that off than they would, let's say, a gold bar or something. So there's more practicality to his thinking about markets than a lot of people, especially that are, dialed in on only one market. He obviously is very good at looking at the total picture. When he comes back, he talks about decentralized currency, and he says, call me old-fashioned, old school, but the most practical, he has it all in caps, thing he could do would be have 9 pre-1965 silver coins that the average person could recognize and see the date, knowing that it is valuable. Knowing that it is valuable. We have seen all the videos where a person is offered a silver bar or for a chocolate bar, and they take the chocolate. Do not, in bold, judge everyone by yourself. Just because you understand something does not mean everyone else does. So thank you, Marty. I look at your site fairly often and always good. Going to the economic confidence model, you see down here from 2020 to 2028, roughly 8 years from starting at 2020. Civil unrest, I think it's going to increase. And then if you go up here from 2024, which are not there yet, to, and I don't see the end here, but it looks about the same as 2028, authoritarianism. Don't we know? And I'll just go ahead and sign off with this last one. This is another Wall Street Silver tweet. I retweeted it. And it just says at the top, this guy serves it up in an understandable way, explains US dollar, silver, and fiat. It's interesting. He's got lots of love, 1,522 and 747. That's like on an airliner, 747 retweets. I'm one of those. And I did something very similar at a investment conference in Phoenix, Arizona years ago. This guy might have done a better job than me. I don't know. It's probably worth a view, especially if you've got, if you're new to the market or new to what, has gone on with the money system. There's a great book by Murray Rothbard. It's almost a booklet. It's not very long, called What Has the Government Done to Our Money? Certainly worth a read. And I'll leave it there. I'm going to enjoy the weekend. It is coming up to holiday weekend here, another week or so. Wish you all the best. I'll be back next week with another weekly perspective.